ലോകജാലകത്തിലൂടെ നമ്മുടെ ജീവിത പങ്കാളിയെ കണ്ടെത്താൻ
വേൾഡ് മാട്രിമോണി.
3.4 Globalization and Principle of Management. Learning Objectives. 1. Why might be global trends influence management principles? 2. What is the Globe Project and why it is relevant to management? 3. What is a cultural dimension and how do cultural dimensions affect business dealings and management decisions? Globalization and cross-culturalism. Despite the growing importance of global business, Fortune 500 companies have reported a shortage of global managers with the necessary skills. Some experts have argued that most U.S. companies are not positioned to implement global strategies due to a lack of global leadership capabilities. It's easy to understand the problem. Communicating and working with people from different countries can be a challenge not just because of language issues but also because of different cultural norms. For example, in the United States, we tend to be direct in our communication. If you ask a U.S. manager a question, you'll tend to get a direct answer. In other cultures, particularly in Southern Europe and Japan, the answer to a question begins with the background and context, not the bottom line, so that the listener will understand how the person arrived at a conclusion. Similarly, in some cultures, it is considered rude to deliver bad news or no to a request. Instead, the speaker would give a non-committal answer like "we'll see" or "we'll try." Country by country differences are so prevalent that a worldwide team of scholars proposed to create a validate and theory of the relationship between culture and societal, organizational, and leadership effectiveness. Called the Globe Project, it included 170 researchers working together for 10 years to collect and analyze data on cultural values and practices and leadership attributes from more than 17,000 managers in 62 societal cultures. In its 2006 report, Globe identified the following 9 dimensions of culture. Performance orientation. Should you reward people for performance improvement and excellence? In countries like the United States and Singapore, the answer is yes. Organizations in these countries use employee training and development to help people improve their skills and performance. In countries like Russia and Greece, however, family and background count for more than performance. Uncertainty avoidance. Life often brings unpredictable events, and with them anxiety. Uncertainty avoidance reflect the extent to which members of a society attempt to cope with anxiety by minimizing uncertainty. Should be established rules, procedures, and social norms to help you employees deal with uncertainty. In countries where uncertainty avoidance is high, like Brazil and Switzerland, the answer is yes. People in such societies want strict rules, law, and policies to eliminate or control the unexpected. Employees in this country tend to seek order, consistency, and structure. Countries with low uncertainty avoidance in contrast are less rule-oriented. They tolerate a variety of opinions, are open to change, and taking risks. Countries with a low uncertainty avoidance include Hong Kong and Malaysia. Assertiveness. How assertive, confrontational, or aggressive should you be in relationship with others? In highly assertive countries like the United States and Australia, competition between individuals and groups is encouraged. Managers may set up incentives that reward the best idea, even if it is contrary to established practices. People in less assertive countries like Sweden and New Zealand prefer harmony in relationships and emphasize loyalty and solidarity. Power distance. Power distance reflects the extent to which the less powerful member of institution and organization expect and accept that power is distributed uniquely. Should you distribute decision-making power equally among the group? In high power distant countries like Thailand, Brazil, and France, the answer is no. People in this society expect unequal power distribution and greater stratification, whether that stratification is economic, social, or political. People in position of authority in these countries expect and receive obedience. Decision making is hierarchical, which limited participation and communication. Australia, in contrast, has a power distance rating that is much lower than the world average. The Australian views reinforces cooperative interaction across power levels and stresses equality and opportunity for everyone. Gender egalitarianism. Should you promote men rather than women? Countries with low gender egalitarianism are male dominated. Men hold position of power to a much greater extent of low gender egalitarianism countries like Egypt and South Korea. Companies operating in more gender egalitarian countries such as the Nordic countries, Germany, and the Netherlands encourage tolerance for diversity of ideas rule regardless of gender. Institutional collectivism refers to the extent to which people act predominantly as a member of lifelong group or organization. Should you reward groups rather than individuals? In countries with high institutional collectivism such as Sweden, the answer is yes. Countries with low institutional collectivism such as in the United States emphasize individual achievement and rewards. Humane orientation. Should you reward people for being fair, altruistic, generous, and kind to others? In countries such as Malaysia, this practice is more prevalent and encouraged than in low humane orientation. Countries such as Germany, future orientation will lure employees fewer activities that involve planning and investing in the future of long-term payoff. Or do they want to see short-term results? Future orientation is defined as one's expectations and degree to which one is thoughtful about the future. It is a multifaceted concept that includes planning, realism, and sense of control. Companies in countries with high future orientation, such as China and Singapore, will have a long-term planning in horizon, and they will be more systematic about planning. Corporations in countries that are the less future-oriented, such as Argentina and Russia, will be more opportunistic and less systematic. At the same time, they'll be less risk-averse. Global Ventures gone awry when Corning proposed a joint venture with a Mexican glass manufacturer, Betro, the Maxim made in heaven, but just 2 years later the venture was terminated. What happened? Cultural classes eroded with what could have been lucrative partnerships. To start, American managers were continually frustrated with what they perceived to be slow decision making by Mexican managers. Mexico ranks higher in the power distance dimension that the United States company structure are hierarchical and decisions are made only by top managers. Loyalty to this manager is a higher priority in Mexico, and trying to work around them is a big taboo. Mexicans also have a less urgent approach to time. They see time as more abundant than their U.S. counterparts. As a result, Mexicans thought that Americans wanted to move too fast on decision, and they perceived American directness in communication as aggressive. Additional big nets on managing a cross-border are share net.